Have you ever wondered what would happen if a powerful king suddenly lost everything? If he woke up not in silk sheets, but in the cold straw of a dirty barn? I respect those who have faced their own weaknesses and turned them into strength. This is the story of a man who thought he had it all, until life showed him what he truly lacked. King Arvian III was called the Gilded Lion. He lived in a castle so tall it touched the clouds. His robes were stitched with gold thread from faraway lands. Every step he took echoed across marble floors, polished like glass. He often said, "Great king feeds his people, yes, but he should never sit among them." To his advisors, he was noble. To the people, he was distant. To himself, flawless. The laws of the land were carved into granite stones, displayed proudly in the palace courtyard. But as the years passed, bread grew scarce and taxes soared, and the people began to whisper, "He may wear silk, but he's never felt hunger." Then one evening, during a grand feast lit by chandeliers made of diamond, an old man appeared. He stood quietly at the edge of the hall, crooked back, eyes that sparkled with mischief. A plain robe, a walking stick made of polished bone. "Who let the beggar in?" King snapped, raising his jeweled goblet. The old man smiled gently. "I'm not a beggar, your grace. I carry a mirror, one that shows kings what their gold hides." The king laughed. "And what would you show me?" "My reflection. I've seen it. Looks quite fine." The old man stepped closer. He placed 2 fingers on the king's chest. "Then let the mirror be your life for 7 days." And in a blink, the chandeliers vanished. Laughter faded. Warmth disappeared. Arvian woke up in a barn. Smell of manure filled his nose. His skin itched with dirt. His royal rings gone. His robe, now a scratchy sack of burlap. An iron collar weighed on his neck. A deep voice yelled, "Lazy scum, get up. You're behind on your fieldwork." King stood up, confused. I am your king." The farmer laughed until tears rolled down his cheeks. "Right, and I'm the fairy queen." And so began his week in the mud. Everywhere he went, he was mocked, ignored, and pushed aside. Children threw stones, shouting, "That's for stealing our food, king." An old woman slapped him when he begged for bread. "The king's men took my husband. Now you take my supper too." Even the guards, very ones who once bowed to him, spat at his feet. "You peasants are all the same, loud, dirty, forgettable." He tried to shout to explain who he was. No one believed him. So he learned to survive. He drank cold rainwater from barrels. He bartered for crumbs. He slept behind taverns, shivering in the dark. And slowly, he began to listen. He listened to the cries of hungry children, mothers whispering stories so their kids wouldn't notice the cold, old men coughing blood but still working the fields. On the 5th day, the king collapsed in the snow outside a bakery he once ordered, covered in gold tiles. His chest burned, his lips cracked, his vision blurred. And then, a small hand touched his shoulder. "Sir, you okay?" Little girl, maybe 9 years old, thin, pale. Her coat was torn and far too small, but she was smiling. "You can have my coat," she said. "Mama says sometimes people just need kindness to keep breathing." King stared at her. His lips trembled. "Why would you give this to me?" She shrugged. "When Mama was sick, someone gave us bread. They didn't ask who we were." And with that, she walked away into the snow. That night the king cried, not because he was cold, not because he was hungry, but because something inside him finally broke open. On the 7th morning, he awoke in his royal bed. Warm linen, fresh air, golden light pouring in through velvet curtains. He flinched at the softness. A mirror stood by the window, but he didn't see a crown or gold robes, only a man with haunted eyes. A voice whispered, Did you enjoy your reflection? Your Majesty? He fell to his knees. They didn't need a lion, he said. They needed a shepherd. Everything changed. He gathered his ministers, tore down the stone laws, and announced the 7 acts of compassion. No one shall sleep hungry. Taxes must be fair, based on wealth, not birth. Leaders must live among the people at least once a month. No one goes to prison for being poor. Villages will have their own councils. Every child, rich or poor, will go to school. And the king will walk the streets without guards. When asked why, he simply said, "I ruled with gold. Now I'll rule with grace." Many nobles resisted, but when the little girl from the bakery walked up to the palace gates and handed him a warm loaf, she smiled and whispered, "I told Mama you changed." And in that moment, he knew he had won something far greater than a crown. Years later, a painting of King Arvian hung in every school, not in royal robes, but in simple clothes, holding a small coat. And under it, just one line, "Great king feeds his people, and sometimes sits among them too." So what would you have done in Arvian's place? Would you have listened sooner? Would you have changed? Let me know in the comments. And remember this, kindness costs nothing. It can change everything. Here are 3 powerful life lessons from the story of King Arvian III. First lesson: power without empathy creates distance. Real leaders understand the lives of those they serve. Swing. At the start, King Arvian believed that nobility meant distance. Great king feeds his people, yes, but he should never sit among them. But after living in poverty, being spat on and starving, he realized the people didn't need a lion to roar above them. They needed a shepherd to walk beside them. Second lesson: never underestimate the power of small acts of kindness. Sometimes the poorest give the richest gifts. When Arvian collapsed outside the bakery, it wasn't his royal court or guards who came to his aid. It was a little girl with a torn coat, offering warmth and compassion without expecting anything in return. Third lesson: regret means nothing without action. Redemption comes when we right our wrongs, not when we speak of them. Component placement. When Arvian returned to power, he didn't just apologize or make a speech. He tore down stone laws, cut unfair taxes, walked without guards, and passed the 7 acts of compassion. He changed. Component placement. Let this be clear: no video, no app, no news holds the same value as your time. I'll keep sharing stories that matter. Keep the faith. Victory is ours.